Ladies and gentlemen, starting now for your StMU Head guard, assistant senior coach for Canada, 50 MBBall. Head guard, 5'9" senior from
Rattler fans, we welcome you to beautiful Bill Greehey Arena for part 2 of our Battle of the Saints doubleheader. If you missed it earlier today, the women's basketball team coming out victorious in a statement fashion, and now the men will look to do the same as they attempt to hold home court. A technical foul called on St. Edwards before the tip even began, and so now Marvin Witt will head to the line for 2 free throws. We presume that is for a dunk or something else in particular. Brian, I mentioned to you before the broadcast even began that I saw the coach of St. Edward's mouthing off to the officials, so that might have been something to do with that. But St. Mary's, they'll go ahead 2-0, and that's before the tip has even occurred. I'm Joe Rodriguez, joined by Brian Maguglio on a great matchup here today, as we have the Rattlers hosting the Hilltoppers. The Hilltoppers coming in with an impressive record. 14-1, 6-1 in the Heartland Conference. They are tops in the Heartland Conference. The Rattlers, meanwhile, 7-7 on the season, 4-3 in Heartland Conference play. They currently hold that number 4 spot. Brian, for the Rattlers, is this an important game for them to see where they're at in the season if they can hang with the big boys of the Heartland Conference?
Oh, more than just important to see if they can hang, but if the Rattlers are able to pull off this victory, they will get above 500 and keep their record above 500 in the Heartland Conference. These games all important in determining who will play in the Heartland Conference tournament. St. Edwards with a 6-1 record in conference play, as the first shot of the ball game is missed by the Rattlers.
And let's go ahead, let's meet the starting lineups. First for St. Edwards, number 1, John Gramlich, number 10, Frankie Blue. Then we have Harley Nussman, Namir Burton, and Trey Lindsay. And then on the St. Mary's side of things, we have Marvin Benny, Marvin Witt, J.J. Bolton, and Kristen Miner. And drawing the start at center today is Justin Alexander. Alexander didn't play on Thursday. He was in street clothes for that game, but good to see him back and inserted into the starting lineup for the Rattlers today. St. Mary's at 2-0 lead, all for the courtesy of those 2 Marvin Witt free throws.
And good to see Justin Alexander, as you mentioned, as that shot by Miner misses. Alexander was in street clothes for the game Thursday night against UTPB, just as a precaution, as he was in the previous game scratched in the eye, and the training staff did not want to risk any further injury. Good to see Justin back out on the floor.
And Alexander, an important present for this Rattler team, as this one rises up for Witt. The assist to Benny. as the first field goal of the game is converted by the Rattlers. Alexander brings a valuable 7.5 points and 4.2 rebounds to this Rattler squad. Driven in and finished with the right hand is Mabluyu, as he has the first bucket for the Hilltoppers. Frankie Mabluyu averages 12.3 points a game, the second leading scorer on this Hilltopper team, as that one attempted to be thrown off of Minor, but instead got to a Hilltopper. The leading scorer is John Gramlich, number 1. Look out for him on your screen. He averages 13.6, as good positioning leads to a good bucket for Nussman there.
If you're Justin Alexander, you cannot allow Nussman that type of positioning down low, as he was able to get around Justin for the easy deuce.
Benny with the ball, he passes it off to Minor, he hangs in the air, gets the finish off the glass. Nice play there by Minor, as St. Mary's looking to start to roll here, as they've gotten 2 easy buckets on back-to-back possessions.
Minor hanging in the air, elevating, able to get the shot off, as beautiful drive to the basket, able to slice his way through. That was a nice play there by Magluyu, as now the game is tied at 6.
And a fast-paced start to this one. Both teams firing away right off. Marvin Benny, he looked to the rim, but instead will pass it off. Witt, back to Benny, this time wide open for 3. Benny, no good. Rebound tipped around, gold jerseys all around. They get it to the floor, and the jump ball is called. Possession arrow over to the Hilltoppers. And if that's any kind of sample as to what type of game we're going to be seeing, we're going to be seeing a lot of scrapping in this one. And something that St. Mary's really has to do is to control those scrap plays and to come away with those 50-50 balls.
Indeed, coming up with those loose balls and making sure that you create second chance opportunities for yourself and limit those for the opposing team are definitely factors that will help a team come away with a victory, as Witt gets fouled on the play.
That one is on number 10, Frankie Mabolo. That's his first foul that he has committed today. Benny inbounds to Alexander. Bolton now with the ball, left free throw line extended, looking up top. He has Benny, back to Witt now. St. Mary's doing a good job of moving the ball. The double team comes up and under. Alexander finds Bolton for the easy lay-in for 2. And I gotta say, I love the ball movement there. Every Rattler touching the ball within a span of about 5 seconds.
And a good find there by Justin Alexander, finding the cutting J.J. Bolton, who finishes with finesse with a reverse layup.
Spinning, dishing, that one put up, and a hard foul committed by Alexander. Nussman will head to the line for 2. Well, we're underneath the 16-minute mark, our first media timeout of the game. We'll go on ahead and take a quick break and throw it to our Code Blue dance team here on the Rattler Network. Back now, Rattler fans, still in this timeout, this quick break, but something I wanted to bring up and talk to you about a little bit, Brian. These past couple of home games, we've seen a bit of a different look from Coach Z, going with a bit more quickness, a bit more speed. Last game he started 4 guards along with 1 big man. This game doing the same thing. What do you think about this new approach? Kind of Miami Heat-esque, I guess you could say, as they are starting these 4 guards.
The Rattlers trying to, I believe, just beat other teams with quickness. We saw against UTPB, Rattlers falling short against the Falcons this past Thursday, but this type of quick lineup was really effective in countering UTPB's athleticism. Rattlers having to not only be the quicker team, but also having to execute as well offensively. We'll see how they fare as this game progresses.
As we see a box press coming out. Here's Miner rising to the rim, getting the finish. And that was exactly what you have to do against those kind of box presses. You see Marvin Witt finding the center of the box, 2 quick passes, and the press is broken.
Beautiful execution there by the Rattlers, as now they're on defense.
Mabluyu with the ball up top. He'll back up and reset. 15 seconds on the shot clock. He'll receive a screen from Nussman. Mabluyu stopping and not able to get the finish. Bolton comes away with it. Rattlers running in transition. They'll slow it down. Marvin Benny now. Benny off to Witt. Miner now. He's been effective early, and effective he stays. 6 points now for Christian Miner, as he has half of the Rattlers' score tally in this early going. Nussman throws it out, picked off by Benny. Good read and playing the passing lanes. Loses the ball, finds it again. And an offensive foul called on Bolton as he lays the shoulder into Burton. First foul on Bolton. St. Mary's, they've pushed the margin to 5.
Going back to Kristen Miner, Miner doing a terrific job of finding the openings in this St. Edward's defense. He's doing it in multiple ways, driving to the basket as well as stepping up for the jumper, as Bolton is called for the foul as he fouled. That was Gramlich, as Bolton will head to the bench, picking up his second foul quickly here in the first half. And
it was a good contest by Bolton right there, but just a bit too much done, and he hit Gramlich on the follow-through. Gramlich to the line for 2. First one, no good for John Gramlich. Gramlich, he's the leading scorer for this St. Edward's team. He averages 13.6 points per game, go along with 1.7 assists and 1.9 rebounds. He's a 72.5% free throw shooter on the year. Isaiah Matthews checks in for the first time today. And I believe looked like a lane violation was being called. I think he said on 15, that's Benny, but
I believe it was called on St. Edward's rather, because the free throw did not count.
Well, then Gramlich unable to convert, and again, St. Mary's breaking the press by putting that man in the middle of the box. Here's Witt. Over to Alexander now. Baseline jumper. It's good. Miner, he's really feeling it. He's in a groove. Christian Miner, 8 on the board.
Miner shooting 4 of 6 from the field. Great efficiency from Miner, who has really blossomed this season for the St. Mary's Rattlers, the junior from Huntsville, Texas.
In the post, and a foul called. Looks like it's on the floor. And can you talk about that a little bit? When you get off to that hot start, you're starting to feel it as a shooter. What exactly does that do for your mindset?
Just keep shooting it. It boosts your confidence. Every time you see the ball go through the net, your confidence that you're going to make the next shot just skyrockets even more. And the factor in the fact that your teammates will try to find you the ball. Your teammates recognize that, and they have their confidence in you. So it's really important for players like Miner, who is in this groove early on, to keep up the level of play. As we see Monroe deflecting the ball, and St. Edward's loses the ball after a great hustle play. St. Mary's coming up with possession off the jump ball.
We see a substitution for the first time today. Ethan Gilbert into the game. That's for the Hilltoppers. He checked in for Gramlich. Meanwhile, Joe Monroe also into the game along with Isaiah. Here's Benny into the lane. Benny hanging in the lane. Benny finishing in the lane with the right hand. St. Mary's, the lead balloons to 8 as a timeout is called by the Hilltoppers. We'll take the break with them here on the Rattler Network. And welcome back, Rattler fans. 16-8. The Rattlers in the lead here with 12:41 remaining in the first half. A nice moment just happened as we recognized all those who had served in the military in the past. Today, not only the Battle of the Saints, but also Operation Drive to the Basket, as we've had fans come out donating perishable goods and also money to a great cause. It goes towards current Rattlers who are in active duty overseas, and really just a great cause. Well, back to the game we go. A foul committed right there by Gramlich. His first of the game. He just checked back in. Another substitution was made, but can't quite see the players. He's guarding Matthews. There we go. It is Quentin Lilly checking into the game for the first time. Oh, good action between the big man, and the finish goes to Isaiah Monroe, the great find there. And we see this now more so in our current stage of basketball. Big men who are able to pass the ball and pass it to each other, and it leads to such easy baskets and such excitement.
Oh yes, indeed. When you have that type of versatility between Matthews and Monroe, as Isaiah called for the personal foul, but when you have players that are high energy off the bench like Matthews and Monroe, you can really create a lot of opportunities on the offensive end. Last game we saw Isaiah Matthews just excel against the UTPB defense, and off to the quick start as he gets a quick 2 off the bench. And right now we see our very own David Tovar on the court. Let's listen in. Our very own David Tovar explaining the what would you call it, the
giveaway,
the giveaway, the lucky
contest. Why not?
the lucky
golden tickets,
so to speak.
Well, that and many other great promotions available if you come out to the game. Check us out, Rattler fans. Support your Rattlers, and if you're not able to, then go ahead. I think we just had another technical foul called. I heard the whistle blown and the point to the St. Ed's bench, and I believe that's our situation. Technical on, looks like the head coach, Andre Cook, as he seems to be hot right from the start. He's even taken his jacket off, and Marvin Witt to the line for just 2 more. But again, Rattler fans, if you're not able to come out and support, and we highly suggest you do, then go on ahead, give us a follow on social media. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the same handle, at St. Mary's Rattler. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/St. Mary's Rattlers. And of course, for everything you could want to know about your Rattlers, biographies about the players, statistics, and pictures of the games, be sure to check out rattlerathletics.com. Well, 20-8 now the score, as St. Mary's capitalizing on the freebies at the line. They've gotten 4 points out of technicals so far today, and that's something that you really can't explain if you're St. Ed's, but Bramlage gets the bucket and cuts the deficit to 10, and now the press is on. Matthews with the ball, and St. Mary's now with it safely across and 25 to work with on the shot clock. Witt scanning the defense, receives a screen from Monroe. Now up top, slightly to the right, Minor. He's had the hot hand, Minor. He still has the hot hand. Christian Minor, 12 and a cool dozen in less than 10 minutes to play.
Minor, you could see as he trotted back down to the defensive end as Marvin Witt rejecting that shot and things going St. Mary's way.
Witt now on the other end, the teardrop, and it's good. Momentum and the run on St. Mary's side. 24 points in less than half of the half that we're playing. They're on pace for a cool 100. This one, offensive rebound by St. Ed's and a foul called. Looks like they're gonna get Matthews. That's gonna be a second.
Rattlers off to a blazing start here. As you mentioned, they're on pace for 100 points. The Rattlers average less than 70 points per game. Yeah. Rarely we see St. Mary's with this level of offensive input.
Yeah, and they're just clicking right now. They're shooting 71.4% from the field, and they're scoring all these points without a single three-pointer made. They've actually only attempted one, as Alexander will check into the game for Isaiah Matthews. McBooley still at the line. He made the first. Second one, no good. And I think they got 15 gold. Benny on a lane violation. That's the second time that referee has called for a lane violation. Second one up, and it's good. So the violation costs the Rattlers a point, but still doubling up St. Ed's here in the early going. Benny bringing up the floor. Here's Monroe. Off to Minor now. Minor shot, that's a heat check. And it's no good, but the offensive rebound by Monroe also no good. Monroe still on the offensive boards. Gold jerseys everywhere. Monroe again, and he's a beast, and he draws the foul. 3 offensive rebounds by Monroe, and St. Mary's muscling their will into the lane.
Joe Monroe imposing his will, but as much as you like to see his effort, you have to also enjoy the effort. The Rattlers themselves as a team, 4 gold jerseys down low as Monroe sinks the first of 2. And you think St. Mary's got up for this one, knowing this not only an important Heartland Conference game, but a battle between 2 rivals, St. Edwards and St. Mary's. The Rattlers came ready to play here this afternoon.
Marvin Witt heads to the bench. Bryce Smith heads in. He had himself a nice showing against UTPB. We'll go ahead and reset on the floor. You have Minor, Benny, Smith, Alexander, and Monroe for the Rattlers. Step back jumper, and that one good. Nice move there by Lilly. And then on the Hilltopper side of things, there's Ricketts on the floor along with Lilly, Grimlich, Gilbert, and McBooloo. This one, another offensive rebound for the Rattlers. And an offensive foul is called as Marvin Benny whistled for that one. But again, just great fight by Alexander there in the lane. And when you can start getting those offensive boards and start getting yourself those extra possessions, and you factor it in with the high shooting percentage that the Rattlers have had, you gotta think that's a good recipe for success. Back to play we go. Slight delay. McBooloo bringing it up the floor. This one up top to Lilly, now off to Grimlich. Grimlich over to Ricketts for three. That one no good. Long rebound off the long shot. Alexander gets the board. Benny now bringing it on up the floor.
And that right there is the formula to St. Mary's success, limiting St. Edwards to one shot only per possession, as we see Bryce Smith getting it over to Monroe.
Monroe back to Benny. Open lane, left hand, no good. Oh, Monroe went for the exclamation point follow, not able to get it. Grimlich now, hoists up a three, no good. Minor, and that one forced out by Gilbert. Will be Rattler basketball. Both teams, they'll be shooting in the bonus the rest of the way. The Rattlers have committed 17 fouls. The Hilltoppers have committed 6. Looking in for Alexander, he tosses it off to Monroe, and a foul called there. Looks like they're gonna get Mbulu. That'll be his second, and Monroe will head to the line for 2 more free throws.
And this is what Joe Monroe does best, just creating high energy and great momentum shifting plays. Monroe just, every time he comes onto the floor, it seems like he's providing a spark for this Rattler team, as he's already got 3, make it 4 points off the bench.
Yeah, and go along with 3 rebounds, a steal, and an assist. Monroe is having himself a nice performance in the early goings. This one swung back over to Mbulu. He's playing with 2 fouls, so he has to be careful. Grimlich in the lane. Oh, that one a bit off. Here's Benny now, bringing it up the floor. Off to Monroe now, back to Benny. Benny, no one's covering him. He'll take the 2-pointer, and if you leave him too much space, Marvin, Benny will make you pay. St. Mary's the advantage now at 16 as they're still doubling up the Hilltoppers. Grimlich with the ball. He's checked by Smith. Off to Mbulu now. This one up top. Gilbert the shot. No good. St. Mary's fighting for the board. 2 players hit the floor, and Smith comes up with it. Here comes Benny now on the counterattack. Left hand. Benny steps back. Bounce pass. Interior pass. And this one, oh, just no good as Monroe missed it. And it looks like they're going to get Alexander for the over-the-back call there. We're underneath the 8-minute mark. So we're going to take another media timeout. We're now going to throw this over to Ruben Delgado. Ruben, we've seen the Rattlers come out with some high intensity. How exactly is it that they're being able to double up the Hilltoppers in what was perceived as a mismatch off the start?
Well, Joe, I think the early technical foul from the coach during warm-ups, one of the St. Edwards players dunked, and thus giving us a technical foul, 2 shots, and Marvin sunk both, and it really shifted the momentum early on to the Rattlers.
And can you sense some kind of frustration coming out of that St. Edwards bench? Because, like you mentioned, they had that 1 technical foul, but then after that, another one was called on the coach as well.
Yeah, and with the second one, I mean, it really came at an important time in the game, put the Rattlers up to double digits, and Christian Minor's really taken advantage. I've been really impressed with his play, both down low and out the arc.
And Ruben, with 7:15 left, St. Mary's still plenty of game left to be played. What would you say are some keys for them to maintain this level of play?
Well, Brian, I think the high energy that they're bringing to the game is definitely going to carry them out at least for the rest of the half, and we'll see from then if they can continue that into the second and see if they can take this game.
All right, well, thank you very much, Ruben Delgado, a new member of our Rattler Network team. Thank you once again for joining us. Remind you, Rattler fans, I'm Joe Rodriguez, joined by Brian Maglione. And one thing that Ruben brought up, Brian, that I thought was really interesting was he thought the technical fouls were really a turning point for this game, even just for that little 2-0 advantage to get yourself up and feeling good about the game. And when one team is committing those technical fouls, it kind of just, it's feeding the other team points, as that one missed at the line. Ryan Thomas, he's checked in for the first time today, along with Cameron Pierce.
And back to the technical fouls, both of them really hurt St. Edwards as Benny splashes home a three-pointer. St. Edward, the second one I feel was probably the one that really gave you a sense of where this game was headed, as it happened when St. Edwards was, I believe, trailing by 10 and things began getting out of hand. But nonetheless, in any sport, you do not want to spot the other team points, and St. Mary's really finding the groove here in the first half.
Lily, first free throw. Oh, no good. It rims in and out. And Brian, you know these Rattlers, their mentality has to be, we have to keep pouring it on, and you kind of just saw it out of the timeout there as Benny hoisted up the three. They know that the Hilltoppers are probably just thinking to themselves, hey, if we can get it within 10 at half, you know, we got a shot in this game. St. Mary's, they have to be thinking that opposite. They have to be thinking we have to extend this out even more, especially in the crucial closing minutes of this first half.
Oh, indeed. St. Mary's, still plenty of time left in this game. That's why we play two halves here in college basketball, as Pierce for three, off the mark. Ball bounces around. St. Mary's cannot ease up just yet, as a scramble for the play.
Smith comes up with it. His shot rejected. Benny, no good, as he got the offensive board. And a foul called there. A wacky play as Grimlich tried to save it by throwing it over his head, and Smith came up with it. And now it looks like we'll have free throws as Benny will head to the line for two. And Marvin Benny starting to heat up as well in the later stages of this second half. We saw him, he had that wide open two-pointer, knocked it down, and then he hit the three. That's how he has his current 5. And now Benny to the line for the 1-and-1. He'll knock down the first. Substitutions made on the Hilltoppers side. Lindsay's still in the game. He's in there along with Gilbert, King, and Nussman has returned as well. And then the last on the court is Mabulu as well. 35-15, 20 points the margin. St. Mary's performing very well on their home floor. This one, a wide open three off the double screen, no good. Ryan Thomas with the nice rebound. Here comes Benny up the floor now. Marvin to Marvin, Benny to Witt. Thomas now back to the basket. Oh, nice shovel pass. Bryce Smith caught his defender looking somewhere he shouldn't and made him pay with the backdoor cut.
And St. Mary's, their execution has been near flawless. And St. Edwards just unable to stop this St. Mary's attack, as good defense creating havoc there.
This one forced up for three, no good. Thomas with the board. A wild shot there out of King. Here's Pierce now. And to Thomas. They're kind of running the offense through him. Another backdoor cut, another easy basket. Ryan Thomas doing the distributing, and St. Mary's all fired up as they lead now by 24. Timeout St. Edwards. We'll take the break with them here on the Rattler Network. And welcome back, Rattler fans. 5:05 remaining in half number 1 in what has been an explosive performance by the Rattlers. This one left free throw line extended. Oh, a bit of a mismatch here as that one foul called. It'll be Gilbert going to the line as he was able to sense the mismatch against Witt right there. Joe Monroe will check in after this next free throw. And St. Edwards, they've really hurt themselves. They've shot themselves in the foot at the free throw line. They continue to do it. They're now 5 of 18 from the free throw line today, as Monroe will check into the game for Marvin Benny. St. Mary's going with a more traditional big style look right here, as Benny will get a rest. And the second one is good. Full court press still being applied. Thomas with the ball, back to Pierce. Back to Thomas now. And St. Mary's manages to break the press. Oh, if Wood had been able to handle that there, he might have had Monroe on the lob. Here's Witt. Off to Monroe. Cameron Pierce now with the ball. And they called 3 seconds. I believe they got Thomas right there. And so a good defensive possession there by the Hilltoppers. Nabulu bringing it on up the floor.
Both teams have done a solid job of not turning the ball over. St. Mary's with just their 3rd turnover. In contrast, St. Edwards has 4 as the foul is called on the play.
Monroe called for the foul. He seems to disagree with the call, but it will be Lindsay heading to the line for 2. First one for Trey Lindsay, off the mark, no good. Trey Lindsay, he averages 8.8 points per game to go along with 5.2 rebounds. Second one, no good as well, as Marvin Witt takes the board away from both Thomas and Monroe.
The smallest guy on the floor getting the rebound. Almost friendly fire there as Monroe and Witt got tangled up there.
Thomas takes a dribble. Smith now, as Gilbert gambled just a bit on that one, but he's able to recover. And now a foul called, and that one's on Lindsay. And Monroe will head to the line for a 1-and-1. Again, we're underneath the 4-minute mark, so it'll be the final media timeout of the half. We'll go on ahead and take the break with them as you're watching Rattler Basketball on the Rattler Network. And welcome back, Rattler fans. 39-16, the Rattlers firmly ahead. Joe Rodriguez, Brian Magluliwan, bring you all the action of our doubleheader Battle of the Saints here. Again, if you missed out, if you were a little bit late joining the broadcast, St. Mary's women's very convincing in their victory earlier today, as the first free throw is good by Monroe. Joe Monroe putting his impact on this game, but as he puts up the second, that one good as well. Joe Monroe now with 6 points in the early goings of the ball game. This one passed over, Mabulu with it, working against Witt. It's a good matchup right here. Mabulu spinning and he can't get past Thomas. It was like a tree trunk he was trying to get around, but just couldn't. St. Mary's, the lead now at 25. They look to add to it even more. Thomas facilitating over to Pierce. And Smith on the floor, and he manages to back tap into Witt. Pierce wide open for three in the corner. It's good. Cameron Pierce, he's a killer in the corner. 3 points on the board. And a turnover, Bryce Smith. Bryce Smith away from the field. The left-handed lay-in is good. St. Mary's up by 30. A timeout called by St. Edwards as it continues to rain indoors on the Rattler Network.
You could catch Coach Andre Cook just laughing after he called that timeout. He is just in disbelief. 46-16, St. Mary's just pouring it on, and St. Edwards with a 6-1 record in the Heartland Conference, not playing like it here this afternoon inside Bill Greehey Arena.
Oh, if you're St. Edwards, it's tough to, it's going to be tough to come back. I mean, I mentioned at the 6-minute marks, if you're St. Ed's, you got to try to cut it down to 10 and get into that kind of mindset. At that point, they were down by 20, and just 3 minutes later, the Rattlers are up by 30. We resume back to play. Here's Grimlich. The floater, no good. He'll head to the free throw line. And you know how I mentioned the free throw statistic for St. Edwards, how they were hurting themselves? They're 6 of 13 from the free throw line right now. On the other side of it, St. Mary's, 12 of 12 from the free throw line. Seems as if they are capitalizing on every opportunity they are getting. First one good there from Grimlich. As we see McAshen checking in for the first time today. Joe Monroe will take a seat. He had a very nice impact in this one. Second one up and good for Gramlich. Lead cut down to 28. Witt with it.
And this full court press that St. Edwards is doing seems to have no effect against St. Mary's. It'll be interesting to see if they elect to continue with that approach defensively as Witt shoots for three. No good. And a loose ball foul is called on the play.
They're going to get McAshen, it looks like, on the foul. And Nussman will be heading to the line for two. Nussman so far today, he's contributed for St. Ed's. He has 3 points to go along with 3 rebounds. First one is good. Checking into the game for the first time today is Sean Watkins. He'll head in for McBulu. Sean Watkins, he averages 1.4 points per game. He's had limited action though. St. Ed's might just be trying to find some kind of spark. Rattlers talking about their rebounding assignments, making everything as well. And second one is good anyway. And St. Edwards just now scratching the 19-point mark with 2 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
And if I'm St. Mary's, the only concern I really have is the fact that they may get too complacent as Witt nearly traveled. St. Mary's, we mentioned when they were up by 10 as Pierce gets fouled on the jumper. He'll head to the line to shoot two. That was Lindsay on the foul. St. Mary's will just need to maintain this level of play, but at the same time, try not to do too much as well. You are indeed up by quite a wide margin as Pierce, a missed free throw.
As Lindsay will check out of the game, he has 2 fouls on him. Replacing him will be Lilly. And Pierce, he missed them both.
Rare missed free throws from Pierce. low free throw shooting percentage because he doesn't go to the line very often, but considering the fact that he's a very excellent shooter from the field, missing 2 free throws there. Now he has the ball again.
Thomas with the ball up top. And an offensive foul is called on McAshen. Looked like he was moving on that screen. St. Mary's possibly slowing down here just a bit. The lead, though, still at 27. Here comes Watkins up the floor. Passes it off to King, who just checked in. Up top to Lilly. He finds, and a foul called. That one on the floor. The bucket doesn't count. So going to the line for 2 will be Nussman. And the pace of this game has really started to slow down. Feels like a lot of whistles being blown, a lot of free throws being shot.
Both teams are in the double bonus. The Rattlers, as we mentioned earlier, averaging under 70 points per contest. They are well above the pace for that. They have 46 with a minute and a half left. It'll be interesting to see how this translates into the second half. Rattlers looking to finish this half strong, as so is St. Edwards, as Rattlers able to break the press yet again.
Yeah, it's St. Mary's heading back to that smaller look in their lineup. Benny checking in. He headed in for Ryan Thomas. 4 guards on the floor. Here's Benny driving in the lane, hanging the right hand, no good. McAshen is there. McAshen fights for the board, and a fresh 35 on the shot clock for the Rattlers.
Well done there by the young McAshen, able to fend off defenders, able to regain the possession for the Rattlers, as now they have 16 left on the shot clock.
Here's Benny penetrating. Cameron Pierce, pump fake, driving to the lane. McAshen right there, and he'll get the follow. 2 offensive boards for McAshen, and he ends up being the beneficiary with 2 points right there.
And probably the easiest 2 points McAshen will ever score in his life.
Nussman there with the offensive board, no good on the putback. He gets another, and that one goes in. 15 seconds remaining in the half. St. Mary's will have it with the shot clock turned off. Benny going a bit too slow. He doesn't have that much time. Here we go. It'll be Benny with McAshen. Benny crossing back over, going into the lane, and a blocking foul called as Watkins was trying to size up the charge the whole way down the floor. Benny, he'll head to the line. Double bonus. He'll shoot 2.
And I think there was a bit of confusion on what play the Rattlers wanted to run. Fortunately, Benny was able to draw the foul as he'll head to the line to shoot 2.
Benny with 7 so far today, make it 8. As this one to try to make it even 50 on the half for the Rattlers. St. Mary's has to play good scramble defense here for 2.6 seconds. And a timeout called by Coach Zelznak, as he doesn't want any momentum whatsoever for this Hilltopper team. He'll make sure that he has the personnel that he wants on the floor. And a good timeout as well. He might take out McAshen, who has 2 fouls currently, and just make sure to preserve him a bit more. But Brian, as we're about to head into the half, St. Mary's, a scoring outburst. Like you said, this team usually averages just a little bit under 70 points per game, and yet they've come out and exploded for 50 today. I mean, what are they doing in order to get this great production?
Well, as I've mentioned at the top of the broadcast, execution is key. And right now, St. Mary's just clicking on all cylinders with how their offense is running, and
as Nussman won't even take an attempt at a half-court shot. I have no idea why.
Probably just to preserve his shooting percentage a la Kevin Durant.
Well, their shooting percentage isn't that great anyway heading into the half. 50-23, the Rattlers in the lead, as we'll have some great action here at the halftime show. We're going to have some fun and some festivities here as the Rattlers up big on the Rattler Network.
Your opponent stage.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, looks like Brian Magluyu on our own, heading down. Gonna knock down this half-court shot. Just talked to Brian a few seconds ago. He said he was gonna knock it down, no problem. Rattler fans, 50-23, your Rattlers in the lead. 8:30 remaining in the halftime, but first, a bit more festivities. Here comes Brian. Fans, we hope you enjoyed the festivities. Our own Brian getting in on the action just a bit. 7 minutes until the second half begins. Rattlers leading 50-23 here on the Rattler Network.